looking from the outside in, the biggest thing about your line of work is auditioning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The IMDb might look like it's booming, but I probably auditioned for about 100,000 roles in my life.
Talk to me about it.
It's a process, especially when you don't have a manager or agent, and that's how I started out. It was an open casting call. Most actors, they think that they need the whole manager or agent team behind them. But if you got the skill, you got the heart, you got the will to get it done and wait in that line of 100 people and just place yourself in front of those casting directors and execute like I did, then you could, you know what I'm saying, then you could bypass all the other steps and those steps gonna come back to you in the end run.
Yeah.
But my mom told me this though as a kid, cause I got blessed with that yes. That first one yes is first audition.
Right.
But then I come back to reality when you get that first no.
Yeah.
It's just like, what am I doing wrong?
But why? Yeah.
But why? Like, is it because of how I look or is it because of my skill set? And they never tell you no, they just don't say anything. So if you audition for a role, let's say I audition for a role today, I sent casting my audition tape. If I don't get it, I won't hear anything from them. I have to hit my agent up and be like, hey, was there something wrong? Or did I do anything, this, that, and the third? My mom told me this, every no gets you closer to a yes.
Right.
You know, and I never stopped at that 5th no or that 20th no, because that 21 audition might be that yes or that Black Lightning or that Atlanta episode. And that's what really just made me more determined and be more consistent in what I was doing and just have more of a brighter insight of what my future might behold, you know?
Like that's like being turned away. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody sees your story and they say like, oh man, that's the dude from, oh man, I love his ass on so and so. But I would always say this about my line of work, especially at football. Nobody sees the practices. Nobody sees the film. Nobody sees or even cares about the 5 a.m. wake up calls, the extra walkthroughs that you kind of go through.
See you on the field.
They just see you on film. Like they just see you on Sundays. And I'm like, bro, if y'all think I literally
just get up and
just, you know, throw touchdowns or do this or do that, or I tried to lose intentionally, like that, it doesn't work. And that's why it hurt me more, being that I put so much into the game that when I didn't get the result that I wanted to, it was hard for me to be cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
How did you take that?
Well,
like really, what really happened? Like, really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the more that I matured, right, I realized that the sport that I played, it was more determining factors in it than I gave credit for, right? I look at a situation like Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback of all time, right? But what if Adam Vinatieri would have missed those field goals? You see what I'm saying? Like you need so much of a supporting cast. Like it was so many times where I look at the Super Bowl when they came back and me being in New England, I had access to rewatch it in many different ways. And I'm like, yo, what if this play didn't happen? What if Julian Edelman didn't make that amazing catch or have that effort? Or what if this guard or person would not have made a tackle or a block? What would have happened? You know what I'm saying? So as I grew, I started saying, I would always give myself the reminder, like, all I can do is all I can do. And all I can do is enough.
We need you on the Falcons. That's what we need.
Right. Listen.
We need you on the Falcons.
Arthur asked know how to get in contact with me. But at the end of the day, too, it's like, how much of it is, it's like, I feel like I was punished for, not necessarily, like my gift is my curse. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't give a mother.
Yeah.
So if that's what makes me, and a person may say, man, humble yourself, man, you know, take this role, take that role. I'm like, what made me great, what got me to the top was this attitude. And I'll be damned if I lose that along the process. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, would you apply for a specific role and you think that this role is for me? There's been many times in my life where I just felt like, bro, it's a given. Like, And rejection was what I got. But I don't not have self-confidence in myself because I look at it like this. To anybody who lacks confidence, and if you don't believe in yourself, who do you expect to believe in you? It starts with you. You know what I'm saying? So the way I talk, the way I write, the way I type, the way I,
You
kind
just
of
feel like the organization can't handle that realness.
I'm not for that.
Yeah.
I'm not for them.
Yeah.
I'm not for her. I'm not for my partner. You know what I'm saying? I'm not for an old boy. I'm not just like I protect myself from so many different individuals where these days, bro, I protect my peace at all costs. So if you reject me, it's simple. I feel like I'm not about to beg for your acceptance. I'm just not gonna do that. That's not how I was raised. That's not what my environment taught me to be. It was like, bro, be you. And the world needs you to be you, not you to be somebody else. You feel me? Like we need Myles Truitt to be Myles Truitt. I don't need Myles to be Ludacris or Idris Elba. I don't need him to be Denzel or Jamie Foxx. Like you need to be you. Michael B. Jordan. Like no, like
There's only gonna be one.
it's only gonna be one.
There's only gonna be one.
Now he can empower you. He can impact you. And please hear me when I say like I've had people who I look up to, and I still look up to people. But I take a little bit of what makes them great and apply it to my own way, and I put my own little, you know what I'm saying, seasoning into that. You feel me?
That's dope.
So, like for me, like my question is, like, how do you prepare? You know what I'm saying? Like where do you go to, like if you got a script, an audition, or when you are awarded that role, like how do you get into a way to learn your lines and what does that process look like?
It depends on the character. Of course, with BMF, it took a little studying because all I knew about BMF or Meech was, do you think I'm Big Meech? Larry Hoover. I was like, okay, when I heard the Meech name come up again, I had to go documentaries, read up on them, articles, why is he in jail, this, that, and the third. Then you got Stranger Things. That mainly consisted of just reading the script and for me, it's not too complex. I read the script, understand where the character's coming from, find relatable tendencies to where like I could pull from it and make it look real to where I'm not forcing it and it looks factory set or robotic. Because certain actors, you can see them trying to pull from from the audience rather than pulling from the character. And I've worked with actors like that, like just trying to just play with it. But when you don't know the character, like you say, when you don't talk to yourself and you don't know yourself, then it's not gonna come across.
It's not gonna be authentic.
But it's not really a certain place that I go to or a dark place in my room or a Starbucks, If it's in my car, if I'm on set and I get another script for another project, say, excuse me, y'all got me mic'd up, all right, I'm gonna go to my trailer, sit down. Cause I understand it's a job at the end of the day. Now it's my job. As a kid, it was a hobby, I was having fun, or I was getting paid to do for it, all right, cool, but now it's a job, so I read that script like it's a directions of the day, and still learning now because I feel like there's certain levels to breaking down a script, understanding how to get into this mode,
How much, so to that point, how flexible, or is it different, sets or different situations where you're able to have more flexibility for ad-libbing?
It depends on the writer.
Yeah.
Man, I almost got kicked off the set one time doing Black Lightning because the writer was mad at me because I was just messing up. It was a scene with China Anne McClain. Love her to death. Great castmate to work with. She's a great actress. She helped me out with my lines too at the time. But I was a kid. I was 16, still learning like, okay, if the writer writes this, there's a reason why he wrote it. And there's a way that it should be said. And it's kind of discrediting to the writer if you're just saying off willy-nilly and it has no context or it's not parallel to what's going on in the scene. That's with anybody, with Stranger Things, with the Duffer Brothers. They were really strict on writing too. on what needs to be said, because it can be kind of stressful for a writer if they're not hearing what they wrote.
Right.
You know.
So how important, like,
you have freedom though, because if you a skilled actor for real, you know what you're doing. Like Denzel Washington, like get your hands off me, like that, that's improv, or that's improv.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just legendary lines, but it come from legendary people that know how to break it down, that know how to talk to the writer or the director and be like, hey, what do you think about this? You know, that when you build relationships with the people in Studio Village, there's a certain level of trust too, because if I'm new rookie on set, I'm 2 weeks in and I'm just saying anything that I want, and they think that just because I'm coming from a series regular role or I'm coming from Stranger Things that I could just say anything, without building the trust to like, okay, well, I see where he's going with this, let's try it.
Right.
It's just communication at the end of the day too. Yeah. That will help out with how flexible you can be with whatever you want to say when it comes to improv.
Yeah.
And on top of that too, your castmates. You know, if you're with another seasoned actress or an actor and the scene is supposed to be a minute long, but y'all do a minute and 45 seconds, y'all are really good. Yeah. Because that 45 seconds consisted of like how we're going back and forth right now. There's no dead beats. Yeah. And if there's no dead beats in the scene and you're comfortable and you're real and it's associated with what the scene is going about, then why not? Because that happens a lot too. And then they'll take from the improv cut and put that into the actual that was written in. So it varies though, but I have fun with it though, because I have times where I'm able to do that with BMF. Working with Tasha Smith, loved her to death.
Yeah. Tasha, she good peoples, man.
Shout out to Tasha, man. Shout out to Tasha. Coming out the mud, you know. Shout out to Tasha, man. Coming out the mud, man. Making sure that we was just good on set. Making sure that the energy was there. It was like a family reunion every day on set. Yeah. I swear to God. And she would yell, we the. That's her slogan. Like I'm only saying it like that because like I can't remember.
Yeah, you hear her saying it.
But yeah, she allowed us to be free with our characters and how we felt emotionally.